What is up, guys? It's your boy Brit VR. Welcome to the show. Make sure you check out my website, Brit VR, right behind me after the video is done. But as we see the Fed Powell continuously pump out money, there is tons and tons of news out there about institutional investors and the big boys who are federal chairs, IMF. They're all looking to get into the cryptocurrency space. So if you like what you hear, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like the video. So one of the head honchos for the IMF is right here on the screen. She's going to talk about what they're going to do for all the markets falling from this pandemic. And this is very interesting to hear what she's going to say.
I see three imperatives. First, the right economic policies. Strong medium-term frameworks for monetary, fiscal, and financial policies, as well as reforms to boost trade, competitiveness, and productivity, can help create confidence for policy action now, while building much-needed resilience for the future. That includes keeping a careful watch on risks presented by elevated debt. The fund is providing debt relief to its poorest members, and with the World Bank, we support extension by the G20 of the debt service suspension initiative. Beyond this, where debt is unsustainable, it should be restructured without delay. We should move towards greater debt transparency and enhanced creditor coordination.
So basically, the IMF is going to create more debt. When they talk about restructuring loans, that means somebody's going to get a better rate and take longer to pay off that loan. And maybe they give them a little more money on the side and giving money to poorer nations. Just more debt. And if you guys don't know who the IMF is, International Monetary Fund, when we talk about Rothschilds and the JP Morgans, the riches of the richest, these are these cats right here. And when they speak, they control the narrative of what's going on around us. If interest rates go up, they can help control the narrative in the United States on interest rates. Kind of crazy. On Yahoo Finance, Jerome Powell spoke to the IMF about digital currency. Now, we know the US government is looking to get into the cryptocurrency space by having their own digital dollar. So obviously we're going to see Powell talk to the IMF about digital currencies. I haven't listened to this yet. We'll listen to this together.
First to Jay Powell, and the Fed chief spoke at the International Monetary Fund's annual meeting this morning about cross-border payments and digital currencies. And Yahoo Finance's Brian Chung was, of course, listening into all that. Good morning, Brian. I guess just the mere presence of the Fed chief at this meeting today legitimizes a lot of these digital currencies.
Good morning, Alexis. Yes, absolutely the case that a lot of attention on Fed Chairman Jay Powell's remarks this morning. I do want to caution that there wasn't anything in this speech with specificity to monetary policy or the economic outlook. As you mentioned, this was focused a bit in the weeds on whether or not the United States could issue a digital dollar, which could perk the ears of anyone interested in the digital currency space. The Fed chairman insisting that while the Fed is doing research on the possibility of issuing a digital dollar, that the Federal Reserve is not committing to issuing what they call a central bank issued digital currency. Here's what he had to say at the IMF this morning.
We have not made a decision to issue a CBDC, and we think that there's a great deal of work yet to be done, as well as extensive public consultation to be had with all stakeholders before making such a decision. The dollar is the world's principal reserve currency, as you pointed out, and I assure you that we will be approaching this question with great care.
Chairman Powell also saying that there are issues and, quote, difficult policy and operational questions like the monetary policy implications of a digital dollar. How might that affect the Federal Reserve's efficacy in using interest rates, especially during recession times like the ones that we're in right now? In addition to questions about how you could police illicit activity, anti-money laundering, or just defend yourself against cyber attacks if there were to be a digital dollar. But the Fed chairman emphasizing at the very beginning of his remarks that this would be a complement to cash. This does not mean that physical cash will not be in circulation anymore, but just merely saying that if the Fed were to implement this, again, not a guarantee, but if they were to do this, this would be a complement to hard cash.
Brian, did he mention at all Facebook's payment system? Remember, there was a big hullabaloo about Libra, they called it. There was supposed to be a lot of regulation around it. Did he mention that at all?
Well, Alexis, it doesn't seem like that long ago that it was Libra that was one of the largest headlines, obviously before the pandemic and everything else that's happened after that. But again, referring to Facebook's project aspiring to have some sort of international network of digital currencies. The Fed chairman saying that Libra is indeed one of the reasons why central banks around the world have had a renewed interest in maybe issuing their own private digital currencies. Now, how this would work with Libra is, an open question. This is very much in the early stages of development, but merely saying that the idea of Libra shows that there's a use case for trying to lower the barriers to specifically cross-border payments. Keep in mind that right now it's fairly difficult and also expensive to try to wire money from one country to another country on the other side of the planet, hoping that maybe there's a way that some sort of stablecoin infrastructure with central banks around the world could reduce some of those frictions. Now, again, the Federal Reserve not committing to launching its own digital currency, but saying that there could be some opportunity to, coordinate or cooperate with other sort of private players, not necessarily meaning Facebook, but other types of private creators of maybe stable coins or this type of infrastructure, blockchain technology to develop something. Again, no details on that right now, but just saying the Federal Reserve would be open to that. But again, very interesting to see how private movements in those spaces, like with Facebook, have really pushed the Federal Reserve and other central banks around the world to at least start thinking about these types of questions.
Brian, any fresh comments on the stimulus front?
Nothing, no, not so far this morning. Again, a lot of eyes on that speech this morning, but no commentary from the Fed chairman with respect to that. It's possible we could get some commentary from others on the Federal Reserve Board this week. We do have some scheduled speeches from the likes of Vice Chairman Rich Clarida actually just later on this morning around 11:45 or so. Interesting to watch there because he's usually someone who focuses quite a lot on the outlook and the possible monetary policy implications. We also have on dock some scheduled speeches from the Vice Chairman of Supervision, Randall Quarles, in addition to obviously a number of other Fed officials throughout this week.
So basically, we know the direction of where our central banks are going. They're all going to blockchain-based digital currency. And there's no shame to their game. They bashed on cryptocurrencies, which is all borderless, and they're going to, and the cryptocurrency market is going to make the monetary system change, and we're seeing it now. So today in the stock markets, the markets did fall hard, as you can see above, and it was on the news that the Democrats and the Republicans cannot get together to send out a strong stimulus bill for the country. Usually we see the stock market go down, and we'll see the cryptocurrency market go down. We did not see that. Bitcoin has been pushing up, and it is looking fantastic right now. One Bitcoin right now is $11,750. This is a day chart, and we pushed up past this support line over here at 11,215, and we moved up to the resistance line up here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pretty good resistance line. Up here is this 11,800. So I expect us to push back down to this support line right here. Let's put in a support. You can see where the support is at right here, and I think we should bounce up. This is what I'm thinking we're going to do. So if you guys are a charts guy, let me know what you're thinking and leave a message at the bottom. So back is breaking records with these Bitcoin derivatives. It's Bitcoin settled, not cash settled. So basically it's just like futures, guys, but futures contracts. If you guys don't know what BAC is, read this paragraph. You know who they are, and they are built by a huge player in the New York Stock Exchange. And I'm thinking the reason why this price is going up is because more institutional investors are getting into trading this derivative, and it is getting crazy. We're seeing tons of hedge funds, huge billionaires, investors investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So if you guys don't know who Circle is a fintech company that's owned by Goldman Sachs. They helped create this digital stablecoin with Coinbase. And this is what the IMF and what the Fed from the United States is trying to basically build. Now, why is this important that the USDC moved over to Stellar? Because it was only on Ethereum for the longest time. We saw Tether move over to Tron blockchain, so it's good to see all these stablecoins make their way to as many blockchains as possible, and hopefully in the future you have some operability within these blockchains to be able to just move money freely. It would be crazy. But for them to work with Stellar, and Stellar has a huge partnership with IBM, I'm going to be very surprised to see what these guys do in the future. So if you like this video, visit my website, BritVR Crypto. Also check out my video courses. They are free, and I'm not a financial advisor, but it will show you how to make passive income in the cryptocurrency space. So check them out when you can. Hit the like button, hit the subscriber button, and all you guys have a good day, and all you guys have a good night, and enjoy the crypto life. Peace.